In this course, we will see how technology has helped the teaching of reading. Reading is a complex process that has to be taught in class and practiced every day. Our expert, Professor Tammy Slater, will help us to understand how reading develops. With this knowledge, teachers can help their students learn to read.
My name is Tammy Slater, and I'm an associate professor in applied linguistics and teaching English as a second or foreign language. I'm originally from Western Canada, and I spent several years teaching English in Japan, but I moved to the American Midwest about 7 years ago to teach at and do research for this university. I teach a variety of courses here, including Introduction to Linguistics, but my main interest is in literacy methods and theories. I regularly teach a graduate course in this topic for ESL teachers, and I developed and taught a course for undergraduate students who are learning to be ESL teachers.
Professor Slater explains that students need to have interesting things to read, and that motivation is key. The internet provides reading on every topic in the world, and lots of these topics are in English. The internet is full of reading opportunities for students. We'll take a look at the American English website that has a section called Resources, where students can find lots of texts that should be interesting for them to read. We will also call on one of our experts, Professor Shannon Sorrow, who tells us about fan fiction. Shannon is an associate professor at Malmö University in Sweden. She researches fandom, fan practices, and computer-assisted language learning. And she is actually a fan, so she's the best person to help us understand how powerful fandoms are for motivating readers. Students read a text, and then they discuss the text online with other students who are interested in the same text.
Hi, I'm Shannon Sorrow, and I'm an associate professor in the Department of Culture, Languages, and Media at Malmö University here in Sweden. And I train future teachers who are specializing in teaching English to elementary, middle, and high school students in Sweden. And my research is therefore connected to classroom language teaching. In particular, I look at the digital and creative linguistic practices of language learners in online communities, in fan spaces, and on social media. For example, like fan fiction. And I look at how these can be used or transformed into teaching activities to help our students develop their digital literacy and English language skills. So far, I've used an investigated collaborative online fan fiction based on The Hobbit and the Sherlock Holmes mysteries to help with advanced language learning and literary learning. And I also do work in telecollaboration or online intercultural exchange to link classes in different countries for the purpose of language and intercultural learning.
Writing is another key area for English language teachers. We will see how technology has transformed the process of writing and created new opportunities for language learners. Writing is an important skill in the world today, in part because people communicate using written language for email and text messages. Our expert, Professor Elena Kotos, will help us to understand how technology can also help novice writers.
My name is Elena Kotos. I'm an assistant professor in the Applied Linguistics and Technology program in the English department at Iowa State University. I'm also the director of the Center for Communication Excellence of the Graduate College at Iowa State. Much of my teaching experience has been related to academic writing. In the past few years, for example, I have been teaching a graduate studies course that prepares graduate students from different disciplines to write publishable thesis chapters. I have also taught an advanced workshop in academic writing, as well as ESL courses in oral and written communication and first-year composition for undergraduate students. From the courses offered to students who major in linguistics, I've taught linguistic analysis both to graduate and undergraduate students and special topics, for example, genre analysis and learning technologies. Before coming to Iowa State, I taught in an EFL setting, and of course I taught language classes focused on particular language skills like grammar, speaking, listening comprehension, and I also taught courses in lexicology, stylistics, oral and written translation.
We will also take a look at some of the many tools that are available for students as they write. This one is one example called Grammarly, which is a tool that makes corrections for students on their writing. You can see in the example how Grammarly has identified spelling errors, as well as grammar errors in students' writing.